The World Cup final is the heaviest stage in sports. Every 4 years, it demands perfection, not just from the players, but from the officials tasked with keeping the match under control. The history books will record the 2026 final simply as a 1-0 victory for Spain over Argentina. And usually, a scoreline like that comes with a familiar routine. The winners celebrate their triumph, and the losers blame the officiating. But this match broke the mold. When the final whistle blew, neither nation was satisfied. Both the victors and the defeated walked off the pitch entirely convinced they had been robbed. The anger from both sides centered entirely on one man, Slovenian referee Slavko Vincic. FIFA trusted him with the biggest assignment in global football, though he arrived carrying heavy baggage. Throughout his time officiating Europe's top clubs, he had repeatedly drawn criticism for highly disputed penalty calls and contentious red cards. Stepping into a stadium packed with screaming fans, an official has fractions of a second to make decisions. That intense pressure, combined with Vincic's existing reputation and a string of incredibly tight calls, to create a bizarre outcome. On the exact same pitch, two completely separate realities of injustice played out simultaneously. The first fraction happened deep into stoppage time. The score was deadlocked at 0, when Spain's Nico Williams managed to bundle the ball into the back of the net. The Spanish bench erupted. For a few brief seconds, they believed they had secured the trophy, until a sharp blast from the referee's whistle cut the celebration dead. Vincic immediately disallowed the goal, pointing to a foul in the build-up. He ruled that Spanish midfielder Mikel Merino had stepped on the foot of Argentine defender Nicolas Otamendi. It was a razor-thin margin, and one that drew immediate scrutiny from officiating experts like former PGMOL chief Keith Hackett. Looking at this timeline of the Spanish attack, Hackett pointed out a critical failure. The video assistant referee was obligated to step in during this review window, but the protocol broke down, cementing a match-altering error. Spain was suddenly forced into extra time. Instead of carrying momentum, they were burdened by the frustration of having to win a match they believed was already rightfully theirs. As the minutes bled into extra time, fatigue set in. Argentina was physically drained, relying on their defensive shape to hold off the Spanish attack and defend their title. Then came the second major flashpoint. Argentina's Enzo Fernandez lunged into a reckless challenge on Spain's young center back, Pau Cubarsí. Referee Vincic reached into his pocket and produced a second yellow card, instantly expelling Fernandez from the final. Critics of Argentina noted the decision was strictly by the book, pointing out that Fernandez had already been booked minutes earlier for dissent. But the Argentine camp viewed the dismissal as a devastatingly harsh punishment for the situation. This pitch map shows the immediate tactical problem. Argentina relied on a rigid defensive block of 11 moving pieces. With Fernandez gone, that shape shattered. Gaps opened up as 10 exhausted men tried to cover mathematically undefendable space. Spain ruthlessly exploited those gaps. In the 106th minute, Ferran Torres found the space he needed and buried the decisive goal. For Argentina, the red card completely overshadowed Spain's earlier complaints. In their minds, Vincic hadn't favored them at all. He had actively destroyed their ability to survive the match. The argument started the second the final whistle blew. Post-match coverage immediately erupted into a transatlantic media war. On the broadcast, Spanish commentator Manu Carreño did not hold back. He openly labeled Vincic's performance a disgrace. The prevailing theory across Spanish media was that the official had essentially played for Argentina by nullifying a clean regulation victory. Yet look at the broadcast desks in Buenos Aires, and you would find the exact same level of fury directed at the exact same referee. The Argentine press maintained that the second yellow card was the harshest decision of the entire tournament, a call that directly sabotaged their defense of the crown. Two separate nations watched identical footage of the exact same 90 minutes and walked away with violently opposing truths. Finding an objective reality here is nearly impossible. Vincic made one highly disputed decision that technically kept Argentina in the game, and another that undeniably crippled them. A World Cup marred by refereeing disputes in its opening stages, concluded by cementing a permanent debate. It left behind clear evidence that at the highest levels of the sport, the person holding the whistle can shape history just as decisively as the players on the ball.